Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. I'm back in my office, which means boo-hoo. The Angry Bird's out, which can only mean one thing. The weather's turning crazy, which means, well, let's talk about it in this Sunday morning edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. All right, good morning. It is Sunday, the 19th of January, 2025. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer, back in the office after flying cross-country for like the fifth time in the last 3 weeks. Last time for a while, hopefully. But y'all don't give a bippity-boppity-boo about that. Let's talk about why you're here, and that is the chance for some winter mischief. We had some last night and this morning, Panhandle, West Texas. Even had a pretty thin band of snow. Decent snow rates at time move across the big country, western North Texas this morning. Let's just talk about what we're expecting tomorrow. Now, it's cold. Guess what? It's cold today, it's cold tonight, it's cold tomorrow, and then it gets even colder tomorrow night because, yay, cold on Tuesday, very cold Tuesday night. We start to warm up on Wednesday. There's your temperature forecast. Easy, right? Well, here's the fun part about forecasting winter weather in Texas. We don't usually have cold air in place. We do this time. We have a Gulf low that's going to spin up, which is how we end up with our magical coastal Texas winter storms. And guess what? This one looks like it may end up being on the top 5 list in terms of interesting behavior and snow totals. Let's go ahead and give the caveats. 1. How much sleet is going to mix in with snow, especially along and south of Interstate 10 in the Houston area? 2. Are we going to have significant ice accumulations across South Texas, Edwards Plateau, even into parts of the coastal Bend coastal plains? 3. Regardless of any sort of differences between sleet and snow, we expect treacherous travel conditions across southeast Texas, including the entire Houston metro, parts of the Brazos Valley, the piney woods of East Texas, the Golden Triangle, including places like Bryan College Station, Victoria, technically in the coastal plains, Lufkin, Nacogdoches, Jasper, Beaumont, Port Arthur, I-10, pretty much from San Antonio through, well, I mean, honestly, given the fact this winter storm's going to attack the whole Gulf Coast, I-10 is going to be a mess probably from the Texas Hill Country until you get into the Florida Panhandle. So, yeah, that's not going to be fun. Monday evening through Wednesday. So that being said, about a 2-day stretch where travel is going to be at your own risk and not advisable across those regions. That being said, we're not also going to be doing this for a week. We're going to start warming up Wednesday. So we're not talking about a prolonged stretch where you're going to have to be stuck at home. That being said, this is going to be a significant winter storm. This would be a significant winter storm by northern Texas standards. So for southern and southeast Texas standards, this is one of these once in, I don't know the exact time range, but this is definitely reminiscent of the snow of Christmas Day in the 2000s in terms of the potential for someone to get a significant amount of it and for the Texas Gulf Coast beaches to be covered in snow or ice. Very interesting, am I right? Now, we are going to expect a short wave, a storm system with Arctic crashing the cold front number or whatever we're at now, moving through the Panhandle, West Texas, Northwest Texas, into the Big Country, Texoma, North Texas. Tonight, Monday, into Monday. That may produce snow. We may even see a snow squall type behavior where we get a quick half-inch of snow in spots. Temperatures are going to be cold. It's going to stick, blowing snow. Going to cause some travel issues. Widespread travel issues aren't expected in those areas at this time. Southern to southeastern third of the state, the main issue time frame will be probably after dinner Monday. Close, but probably dinner time Monday through, travel-wise, probably lunchtime Wednesday. The snow, all that is going to stop falling from the sky probably by lunchtime Tuesday, but we're going to have issues continue into Wednesday. The potential for snow increasing now compared to previous forecasts. Hill Country, Central Texas, parts of the Brazos Valley, even in the Edwards Plateau. We could see a winter mix with freezing rain, sleet, and snow across South Texas. Honestly, even into parts of the Rio Grande Plains. Coastal Bend, Coastal plains, the immediate middle and upper Texas Gulf Coast, Monday night into Tuesday. And the Golden Triangle. With time, much colder air will filter in, change that over to snow completely. And it does look like those of you from Corpus Christi, all the way up through Houston, Galveston, to Beaumont, Port Arthur, are probably going to have some snow cover. And that's going to make the beaches beautiful. We don't get to see that too often, but we will as we go into Tuesday. Now, looking at this animation, you can see the rain trying to change, the snow changing over to rain as everything ends. That's not going to happen. That's just this model graphic display software being wonky. It's going to be cold. It's going to be below freezing, and it's going to stay below freezing as precipitation ends Tuesday afternoon. So this is going to be a Monday evening, Monday night, Tuesday morning into early Tuesday afternoon event for the southeastern third of the state. Where snow and ice falls, it is probably going to stick with ease. We do expect treacherous travel conditions, and once they develop, they are going to continue into Wednesday morning. So do not expect much improvement after snow stops falling Tuesday afternoon. We may see some modest melting, but wherever we have any snow or ice on the ground, Tuesday night, expect temperatures to fall to near 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which is well below freezing. Any snow, slush, water will turn into ice. And given the fact some of southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, and the Piney Woods of East Texas could see over 5 inches of snow, that is a lot of slush on roads that will turn into cobblestone ice, which is not going to easily be removed. But the good news is we're going to get above freezing Wednesday afternoon, so that'll help quite a bit with that. All this, again, Monday evening, Monday night, Tuesday morning, ending around lunchtime Tuesday, but the impacts to travel will continue and adversely impact road conditions through lunchtime Wednesday. Let's talk about snow totals. Here's the ice forecast. This is not going to be a major ice storm. This does not look like something where we're going to have ice bringing down power lines and trees. The potential for light ice accumulations, the Rio Grande Plains, the Edwards Plateau, south-central Texas, South Texas, the coastal bend, the coastal plains, even parts of the upper Texas Gulf Coast south of Interstate 10. This will cause issues on bridges and overpasses. They'll become slicker than bull snot. Even some surface roads. San Antonio, I'm looking at you. I-35, San Antonio through Laredo. Icy. I-37, San Antonio to Corpus Christi. Icy in spots. I-10 from pretty much the San Antonio area through parts of the Florida Panhandle. It's going to be snow-packed. Icy. Not a good idea. Now, northern half of the state, again, this doesn't really look like a big deal for y'all. We are going to have some snow showers, and we'll watch that carefully just in case we get some localized minor travel impacts, but this is going to be a big deal for the southeastern half. Well, yeah, southeastern third to southeastern half of the state. Now, let's talk about snow totals. Here's some changes compared to the forecast we were posting last evening. We have seen an expansion further west and a bit north with the latest forecast. Maybe, a half inch to an inch of snow possible. The hill country, southern North Texas, up into East Texas, up to I-20. Down I-35 through central Texas, south central Texas. So this brings places like Waco, Austin, San Antonio, Llano, Junction, Kerrville, Rock Springs into play for some minor snow accumulations. And again, it should be cold enough to where that'll mostly stick to roads as well. Bridges, overpasses, most likely some surface roads, especially secondary, may become snow-packed at times, or at least very slushy. Brazos Valley, East Texas, Southeast Texas, and the Golden Triangle is where we are expecting more significant snowfall accumulations. Most folks were thinking 1 to 3 inches right now. However, I need to point out, this is the 50th percentile forecast we're looking at, meaning there's about a 40 to 50% chance we get less, 40-50% chance we get more. And the more side is what I'd bet on right now. I do expect this will show an uptick in accumulations across parts of Southeast Texas and the Golden Triangle when we do our video update around dinner time this evening. So, 1 to 3 inches, Brazos Valley, Bryan College Station, Brenham, Sealy, for Huntsville, Conroe, Houston, Galveston, east through Dibble, Woodville, Beaumont. We're doing about 2 to 4 inches right now. But I need to emphasize there is at least a 50-50 shot some of y'all end up with 5, 6, 7 inches of snow. And this will be the heavy wet snow. This is not going to be dry powdery snow. So this will be good for making snowballs and snowmen-ish, but it's also going to be heavy. So we're going to have issues on some trees and power lines if we end up getting over half a foot of snow in spots. It's going to start weighing things down. We may start to see some localized infrastructure impacts. This is not a catastrophic ice storm. This is not a catastrophic knock the grid out situation, but we may see some issues, especially where we have weakened trees from however many weather events we went through last year. We may start knocking some stuff down in spots, especially where we see, 5, 6 plus inches of wet snow. Take a note, though, Louisiana, this is not going to be a winter storm that ends in Texas. This is going to give New Orleans 3 to 6 inches of snow. This is going to give parts of Louisiana up to 10 inches of snow. Same for parts of southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, southern Georgia. Even parts of the Florida Panhandle are going to be getting snow out of this. This is one of these magical Gulf of Mexico coastal lows that lines up perfectly with the cold air to where we can get big old snows right on the Gulf Coast. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, it can be a magical thing. It's just not magical to everyone who has to deal with it in terms of travel impacts. So, that is the expectation right now. And for those of you saying,
1 to 3 inches, 2 to 4 inches of snow, that's nothing. Up here in Minnesota, we can walk to school in a foot of snow.
Guess what? This part of the state does not have snow plows in abundance, if at all. Most local municipalities have no snow plows. TxDOT will likely, I'm suspecting here, will likely be shifting resources in from western, northern parts of the state where snow chances are much lower to supplement resources here in the southeastern portions of the state, especially with plows, because this is not going to be a situation where putting sand or brine down is going to necessarily help when we're dealing with several inches of snow. It's eventually going to start to just stick. It may melt at first and turn into slush, but the problem here is it's going to be about, 10 to 13 degrees Tuesday night. Whatever slush there is on the roads is going to turn into a block of ice real quick by sunset Tuesday. And it's not going to melt until probably lunchtime Wednesday or maybe even Wednesday afternoon when the sun comes out. So roads are not going to be in good shape. Monday evening through at least early Tuesday afternoon. We may see a minor improvement Tuesday afternoon for a few hours, but it's going to go way downhill really quick by Tuesday sunset through Wednesday lunchtime. So just plan on no travel unless you absolutely have to Monday evening through lunchtime Wednesday across the Brazos Valley, southeast Texas, the piney woods of East Texas, the Golden Triangle. And we are probably going to see some comparatively less significant but still localized travel impacts, Central Texas, the Hill Country, into South Central Texas, San Antonio, Austin, Waco. Now, elevated roads and bridges, San Antonio, Austin, I-35 corridor, yeah, y'all are going to have problems with that. Make no mistake. That's going to be an ouchies in its own respect. But hopefully, if we keep snow amounts lighter, we won't have to necessarily have big issues. But another element to consider is we're cold. And we've been cold for a few days, so snow is going to stick more easily to surface objects. Let's get through the data here this morning. We'll get into the afternoon, and we'll be more articulate as we get into the afternoon forecast, so we're able to actually give you a better idea of the overall expectations. But trends are what we're still looking for, even though we're getting into the higher resolution model range, and I'm hoping to be able to show you that as we get into this afternoon. So, temperatures. Here are the high temperature forecasts on Tuesday. Notice most of the state is not going to be getting much above freezing. We're generally looking at highs of 30 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Rio Grande Valley, y'all will be a little warmer. Congratulations, you're special. Everyone else, guess what? Not much above freezing, especially where we have precipitation falling Monday night to Tuesday. It is entirely possible Houston does not get above freezing on Tuesday at all. Now, here's the problem. Tuesday night, the entire state, even the Rio Grande Valley, is going to be below freezing. This will be a 254 county-wide freeze, the entire state. Teens and 20s. Where we have a snowpack develop, Hill Country, Central Texas, Southeast Texas, the Golden Triangle, temperatures are going to be near 10 degrees Tuesday night. not the wind chill, the actual temperature, which is going to turn any sort of snow, water, slush into a block of ice. In addition, because it's going to be so cold, we may even start blowing some pipes if they're not, protected. Now, caveat being here is this is not going to be a situation where we stay below freezing for days on end. This is not a 2021 situation where we all lost power and the pipes froze and started blowing up everywhere. This is going to be a, for all intent and purposes, 36-hour to 2-day event. We're going to get above freezing on Wednesday, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But again, I don't want you to be lulled into a false sense of security as we get into Tuesday afternoon. The snow is gone, the sun is out, things are starting to melt. Okay, it may look better for a few hours, but we are going to have big problems by sunset Tuesday through Wednesday lunchtime. Understand that. Anywhere we have water, snow, slush on roads. Now, here's the high temperatures on Wednesday. Notice we are expecting highs only in the 30s where we have a snowpack develop. Otherwise, guess what? The rest of the state, we're going to be back up in the upper 40s and 50s. So it'll be a pretty nice day, honestly. But again, expect a significant temperature differential and much colder where we still have a snowpack. The snow will be melting, but that's going to take some time. All right, so here's our plan of attack for the next couple of days, or at least today. We'll be doing another video. We'll have that out by dinner time, let's say by 6 p.m. I'm hoping it's sooner today, with a more detailed forecast. We'll talk about the range of accumulations. We'll talk about some high-res data. We'll become more articulate and more specific in the expectations. Again, forecasting winter weather outside of 24 hours in Texas, even with cold air in place, is very difficult, and there are always going to be surprises inside the 24-hour range. So that is why, we learn from the lessons of last week, learn from the lessons of the last 15 years, and, that's why I'm giving you a range of possibilities. We are going to be doing a live tonight on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel at 2100 hours, 9 p.m. Central. So if you want to join us for that, hit us up on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel, Texas Storm Chasers website, and mobile app. We'll be live at 9 p.m. Central tonight for a probably hour to hour and a half long discussion. We'll do some Q&A, question and answering, and, we'll just talk about evening data as it rolls in. We'll look at it with you. So, you can get your local weather forecast, interactive weather radar, Texas weather updates, and more in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers where you download apps to your device. And, of course, if you're watching us here on YouTube or you want to, search for Texas Weather Center. All right, on behalf of the giant red angry bird, Moopsy, and myself, Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer, we'll talk to y'all again later this afternoon. Have a good one. God bless.